What's up? Hey, hello, everyone. Can you believe it? We are here doing the second episode of Survivor Season 32, Brains, Brawn, Beauty, Co-Wrong. It's so crazy. Like, I wasn't here all week, so I had to watch the episode not at real time. And then and then I was on YouTube, like, checking out, like, the comments and everything. And then I see the video from Survivor on CBS saying Jen the next day video. I was like, dang, that just ruined it for me. So my name is Rachel.
And I'm Alyssa, and we really hope that you've seen this Survivor episode. Otherwise, Rachel just spoiled it for you. So, let's get started. So, pretty much the first thing we see this episode is Ty, once again, going searching for his hidden immunity idol. And I'm not sure whether or not I said this before, but it's totally illogical for him to go searching for this idol, because Beauty hasn't even lost a challenge yet.
No, yeah, he was like, I'm gonna go search for this idol. And then all the rest of the 5 people were all bonding in the water. Like, I don't know about you, but when you're the only one not in like the big group, like, obviously they're gonna be closer to like themselves than they are with him if they're getting all this extra time together. Like, you never want to be that odd man out because then chances are everyone else is probably talking about you while you're gone.
Then again, being the odd man out has actually worked pretty well for Alicia so far. Like, what's up with that? But anyway, Ty was searching for the idol, and he finds a clue that tells him the idol is buried at the base of the tree. And then he digs up the base of the tree, and he finds another clue telling him that an idol is in, I think the words he used was like a black palm or something like that. So then he goes around looking for palm trees, and finally sees one, and then he realizes he has to climb it.
Yeah, that tree looks so tall. Like, what the heck? How do the producers expect someone to climb up there and then use like one hand to use that stick to get the idol? Like, what the heck? It seems so high. And then Ty just, I don't know about you, but it seems like he just screwed himself over because now his feet are all bloodied up. Like, won't your feet hurt? How are you gonna run or walk for like challenges later?
Yeah, and like since this is a season that's really big on medevacs, like getting injured does not bode well for you. Of course, he probably didn't know that at the time, but what
Yeah.
really grinds my gears is the fact that he didn't even get the idol. Like after all that bloodied feet, bloodied chest, bloodied whatever nonsense, he didn't even get it. Like, what are you gonna say when you come back to camp with blood dripping all over you? And like, I was out getting water and I fell.
Yeah, no, that would have been funny to hear his lie. Like, I fell in like a pile of ants or something dumb like
Well,
that.
he did.
In a red ants. But yeah, like, what the heck? Now all of like his open wounds could become infected or something because literally he was like when the blood was on the tree, I was like, that's so disgusting.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. My sister was watching it with me, and she was like, "Is that blood?" And I was like, "What else do you think it would be, stupid?"
No, yeah, I don't know about like good for him, like he's gonna get the idol, hopefully, but like I don't know, it seems like it's a lot of risk for not a lot of reward like at this moment. Like I can see Alicia wanting to get the idol, which we'll talk about at the end, but I don't know, it might just put a target on his back and it'll only save him for 1 vote.
I also feel like he kind of marked the tree with his blood. Like, if anyone was, like, looking around being like, gee, I wonder where the hidden immunity idol is, if they see streaks of blood on a tree, they're going to be like, maybe this one.
The tree is bleeding, you know? It's no big deal. That happens all the time. Well, I think would have been like funny, but it would have been sort of like tragic if someone were to be like climbing the tree and then they fell off by accident. Because because Ty looked like he was like really high up there. What if he just accidentally let go and
I
fell?
think that it's one of those things where if you, like, start losing your balance, your instinct is like, oh, God. And just, like, you clench all your muscles. But
He
that's
fell
enough
off.
about the beauty tribe. Let's get
Someone
going.
fell Someone fell off of a tree one time and like they fell on their butt, then they like jokingly were saying like I broke my butt. I forget now, but that
I don't
happened.
remember this, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, so next we'll talk about Debbie.
Debbie.
Wee, chemist.
Red Lobster server.
Yeah, her turtle thing. She talks so much. Like I feel like she's going to be the new Philip Shepherd. She's not even like coach. She is the Philip Shepherd.
Like I am annoyed by her after watching one episode of Survivor, and I can't imagine how annoying it must be for those people who are around her 24 hours a day. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I guess she's a good like talking point that like that one person in the friend group that is like the butt of all the jokes and like Debbie doesn't even know that she's like the odd one out, sort of like everyone's making fun of her, and then she's still like yabbering on about like her job and like saying these weird things like my immune system is like a horse, or we have the biggest frontal lobes. And then she says amygdala weird. She was like amygdalia. What?
Yeah. But so I think Peter brought up a good point when he said that keeping Debbie around would be like a good strategic move because no one likes her. Like if you went up against her in tribal council, you would landslide.
Exactly. I feel like if like people would just goat her to the end, like Rob goated Philip to the end, just so like you're gonna get all the votes next to Debbie. Like that is like the perfect plan. So I can see like Peter and them maybe wanting to keep Debbie around, even like it depends if she'll be like loyal and stuff later, but we haven't seen much of the Brain or the Beauty Tribe since they haven't gone to tribal.
Yeah. But speaking of the Beauty Tribe, I think there's one very important thing we have to talk about, and that is bromance.
Yeah, so this week we saw the hashtag stolen kiss from Caleb and Ty. They are having a budding bromance. And like, I really like Caleb. Like that's so many people don't like him from Big Brother, but I think he's so like cool. And then he's just like saying how there's no like ties where he's from, and then he's like accepting of different people, even though he's like not like introduced to those people in his normal life.
Rachel and I were talking about this when she was watching the show, and basically we both expected to hate Ty, as you probably, or not Ty, hate Caleb, as you probably saw if you watched our cast assessment. But we both love him, and it's kind of heartbreaking because he's going to get married.
A good thing you didn't spoil. I thought you were gonna say something else that started with an M.
Well, now you just. But so anyway.
Oh, sorry.
Caleb and Ty, I think someone said that they're kind of like a married couple, and I think that's adorable. Like, they're like work husband and wife. Like, you always have that one person who's like your work spouse, except for it's your survivor spouse. And that's it for Caleb and Ty.
Yeah, I know. They seem like they're cuddling together at night. He got him to eat the eyes of a fish. And it looks like the Beauty Tribe is just having a grand old time over there. It looks like a party. It looks so fun. We didn't hear much from Nick or Michelle this episode, so I want to hear more from them, definitely.
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of hard because we haven't seen them go to tribal council, and that's where tribe dynamics really become important.
Yeah. Yippers, peppers.
So, speaking of tribe dynamics, back to the Brain Tribe. We kind of already touched on this when we were talking about Debbie, but their tribe dynamics are kind of messed up because you have the 4 younger people and then the 2 older people, but then you also have the fact that Aubrey and Liz, 2 of the younger people, are like.
What do you mean by that?
Like, Aubrey's already had, like, a panic attack / dehydration crisis, and Liz just seems to be getting on a lot of people's nerves.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brain Tribe. I think they are the number 2 in in the hot mess scale. This in this game right now. Like obviously Brawn is hot mess number 1, but I think Brain is starting to become hot mess number 2. I feel like there's too many sort of like egos on that tribe. It's sort of like if you went to like the Ivy League schools, like everyone's like really smart and you sort of feel like you have to one up everyone else. So like Joe is saying like, and Debbie too, they're like, Liz is too smart. She knows too much. Like she's annoying because she knows too much.
I think part of it also is since they haven't gone to tribal, they haven't had a chance to like air their grievances or whatever. Because no one wants to talk about it when they're not going to tribal, because obviously that's just a great way to get everyone to hate you. But
Yeah.
like sometimes it is actually beneficial for a tribe to go to tribal because then they can like cut out the piece that isn't working.
Yeah, Jeff is like their very own like therapist if you use tribal in the right way, as we did not see this episode, but yeah, I don't know. I like Liz's dress so much. Like that blue one that like ties up there, it's so pretty.
Okay, so the immunity challenge. Rachel, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, that immunity challenge was so long. Like, first they had to get that 300-pound stick. I shouldn't even say stick, it was like a massive log, a baby tree. It's 300 pounds, which that is like so good for Brawn. And then, because that's like, that should be their thing. So Brawn and Beauty were like tied for the whole thing until Beauty got ahead at the end. But like basically when they were shooting the string balls to hit the 2 targets, it was basically tied. All of them had 1-1-1, and then you just had to get a second. And then Beauty got it first, and then Brawn and Brain were so close. Like if Scott didn't miss that first try, the second try when he was doing it right when Peter did it, then Peter could have been the one to not, like it was close. So it wasn't like a total blowout of Brawn this week.
Yeah, and I feel like this challenge might have been designed more to highlight the Brawn skill because like you don't really expect people who are smart to be muscly enough to move a 300-pound log. I think the fact that Brain and Beauty each got to sit out one of their members was helpful for them because I don't think that Debbie would have been very good for the Brain in this challenge just because she's so bossy sometimes, so she'd be like trying to direct people or whatever.
Yeah, now she can just scream those weird sayings from the side about like gray matter and frontal lobes. I don't know. Yeah, just even her like being the cheerleader on the side, like Julia's cheering was acceptable, and then Debbie's cheerleading was like crazy. It was too much. It was too much cheerleading. But yeah, I guess we would expect the brains to be behind because, like you were saying, you wouldn't expect brainy people to be like super muscular like that since they're more like book smart than like Brawn, like bodybuilder, Sydney type. So yeah, it was really interesting and like it was really close. So
I was surprised by how well Beauty did moving that log because like the only really buff person I think is Caleb. Like Nick looks strong but not like built.
Yeah, I guess like Nick's also like a personal trainer on the side of his life coaching. Yeah, and then what? The Ty is like doesn't seem that like they're all fit, but they just don't look like Scott or Kyle, Jason or Sydney like that fit. They,
Yeah. They're more like lively muscled.
Yeah. They're fit, but not like crazy professional, I guess, fit. I don't know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so immunity challenge, if I didn't know that Jen was going home, I feel like it would have been more interesting because it was so close at the end. But since I knew like Braun's going to tribal, like it sort of it wasn't as cool, I feel like. So next time I need to not go on YouTube before watching the episode.
Avoid the spoilers, man.
I know, I can't believe that. I was like, crap.
So Brawn tribe lost, obviously, and they went back to camp, and that was a hot holy mess.
Yes, I guess we'll like throw back in time to like Alicia trying to make the fire. I was so proud of Alicia. She was trying to make that fire for 5 hours and like she couldn't get it. And then I was like hoping like yes, she needs to get this fire because everyone else was sleeping and being lazy. Like the two biggest dudes out here, they're taking a nap while she's doing all the work, and like they don't even say thank you until Kyle Jason brings it up.
Yeah, I feel like also someone was like, "Oh, it's good for her ego to like contribute in this way," and it's like it's not good for her ego. She did something that was worth being praised. Like none of y'all tried to make a fire.
Yeah, all of y'all would be not having your water, not cooking chicken if you're all taking naps and not being like Alicia and going out to be a go-getter.
Like, I admit that it probably didn't need to take 5 hours to make a fire, especially because I'm wondering how much of the flint she used, like scraping and scraping and scraping and scraping.
Yeah, if people like helped, maybe it would have went faster, you know?
Yeah, because it looked like she got a spark a couple of times, but she couldn't get it to catch by herself.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like Alicia is the biggest scapegoat, sort of this season. We can talk about it more at Tribal, but she just keeps getting so lucky not getting voted out. But I feel like she's getting the sort of dud edit, and not like the dud Steven Fishback one, but like she's being edited in a way that makes her look like really ditzy and stuff. But it might also be contributing to the fact that Kyle Jason's being so rude, and every time he talks is literally about Alicia saying Blondie is so dumb. It's sort of getting old.
Yeah, like I get not liking someone, but it's gotten to the point where it's like it's not. It's so redundant and it's so rude. And it's like if you dislike someone that much, then you should have voted them out. You shouldn't have been like, well, Darnell made a bigger mistake. Like if you're
Yeah,
gonna complain, do something or suck it up.
and like say her name, I guess also like Blondie. That is so, uh, you know.
Derogatory.
Exactly. I mean, I can see why Jen's getting annoyed with him and wanted to do the Girl Alliance because he's just being so rude. And like everyone, talking about like Tribal also, everyone on this tribe is so wishy-washy and then they just go like what their heart tells them. Everyone is switching their votes literally at Tribal Council. In the first episode we saw it, like from like tying it up with Alicia and Darnell to voting Darnell out. And now people at Tribal, they're like, let's vote Jen out. Like they're just
I
they're
think
just
it's
not thinking things through.
like you said, they're very like heart motivated, and I think they also have this like overblown concept of loyalty. Like Darnell wasn't being loyal to the team when he dropped the mask. He wasn't being loyal to the team when he played a part in losing the immunity challenge. And Jen wasn't being loyal to her alliance when she said that things were up in the air. Because like, yeah, loyalty seems to be a big thing for them.
Yeah, and it's sort of like Jen's fault also. If she just, I feel like what Sydney was saying, Jen did say the wrong thing at the wrong time. I think at Tribal, you really need to say things in a way that like answers Jeff Probst's questions, but it's not like giving too much about like what's happening in the camp and stuff. That'll like, she didn't stick to the plan, basically.
I think in tribal, you just need to know when to sit down and shut up.
Yeah, and she stood up on the stool.
Yeah. So Jen got voted out.
Yeah, so Alicia, Sydney, and Jason voted Jen out. And like you were saying, if Kyle Jason dislikes Alicia so much, why is he voting Jen out and not Alicia? And then Jen and Scott voted Alicia out. or voted for
And
Alicia.
this means we have to listen to 45 more minutes of Kyle Jason complaining about Alicia. Ugh.
I know. I really hope Alicia will not get voted out next week and, like, you know, sort of go far, because she could. I feel like she's sort of underestimated, and, you know, maybe she's doing like this sort of dumb sort of act as an act.
If it's not an act, you just probably lowered her self-esteem a lot. I think you should apologize.
Yeah, that embryo and ember thing. That was sort of funny. Okay, yeah. Should we do our predictions?
Yep, we can start with the computer team's predictions since that doesn't
Okay.
have any logic behind it.
Okay. Do you want to explain it?
Sure. So, as you guys know, my twin sister is playing as the computer team. So, she said that next week Debbie is going to be voted off. And actually, I don't think this one even needs much logic to explain it. If the Brains lose, Debbie is really rubbing people the wrong way. And since Brains are, as Rachel said, hot mess number 2 on the hot mess scale, if the Brawn, like, pull themselves together enough to win one immunity challenge, I feel like the Brains might be in trouble.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go. I am saying that Liz is going to be the third boot, which I'm sad because I picked Liz for my team and I don't want to see her go because I really like her. And, like, she's such, like, a role model, I feel like. She's so smart and stuff. So I don't know, I really like her. But reasoning behind it is, like, right now I feel like the people like Joe and Debbie are sort of getting old of Liz, and then, you know, right now I see Peter and Liz are really close, and then Aubrey and Neil are like close, and then Debbie and Joe are close. So it's sort of like split 2-2-2, and then you're messaging that, so I'm getting distracted.
Sorry.
Yeah, so then I feel like, you know, they're getting sort of old of Liz, tired of Liz, and then Peter is not going to want to vote Debbie out because they want to keep Debbie as, like, the Philip Shepard of the season. So, you know, maybe they'll vote Joe out, but so that's actually probably a better thing. But I don't know, I feel like something will happen that Liz will get voted out because they might think she's, like, a threat later on because she's so smart or something, you know? So that's my
She
reasoning.
could destroy at the puzzle challenges. And we've seen,
Yeah.
like, challenges that have, like, come down to a couple of seconds, and being able to do a puzzle slower, faster is imperative.
Yeah, now watch Joe go.
Well, I'm going to say that Alicia is going to go home just because I'm not sure if the Brawn tribe will be able to pull themselves together to win an immunity challenge, just because I feel like it's one of those downhill spiral things.
Yeah, I feel
spiral
you.
or downhill slope. Anyways, so basically, they're obviously a very fractured tribe. Like, no one likes Alicia, and Alicia knows it. And I feel like team unity is one of the things you definitely need in order to be effective at the challenges, which is why I think that Brains are becoming hot mess number 2. And I think that the fact that all of the players on the Brawn tribe have had to play in all of the challenges is also a big factor in that, just because getting 3 days rest from challenges will make you be better in the next one that you have to do. And they've obviously had to go from challenge to challenge to challenge. So I think that they're just going to end up burning out and losing. And then Alicia will go home.
Yeah, I know. Next week will be interesting to see if the Brawn tribe this season is the brains of Kagayan 2.0. So that should be interesting. And, like, these predictions are so up in the air because we literally have not seen, like, good tribe dynamics for Brawn or Beauty right now. So, like, if Beauty went to tribal, like, that would be so crazy because if Ty did get the idol, Ty can't go home. And then the other 5, like, who would you vote out from that? So since we haven't seen any of the other tribes go to tribal, all we really know are, like, the Brawn dynamics. So it's hard to, like, predict right now.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Do you want to say the points?
Oh, yes. So, for those of you who are playing along with our fantasy team, we have had a switch up in the order of our fantasy team point ranking. In third place is Rachel. She only
Ah,
gained 2 points this week, and her 2 points were from Liz crying. And she didn't gain any other points because all of her other people didn't really do anything. So Rachel's
sad.
new total is 12.5 points. And in second place is the computer team slash my twin sister. She gained 8 points this week, so she had the biggest gain. And she got 4 for hashtag meow and 4 for hashtag stolen kiss because both Peter and Ty are on her team and they both created those hashtags. And then in first place is me. I gained 6 points this week, 5 for Joe saying the title, Kindergarten Camp, which I was right about, by the way. I predicted
True.
this
We
would
said
happen. Um, and then 1 for Jen being voted off, and I get points for her placing. So my total is now 14 points. So there's not that much of a spread right now
such
because
a close race.
yeah, there's 1.5 points separating the highest from the lowest. So if one of our players cries, that totally changes the rankings. So we'll have
Yeah.
to see what next week brings.
We'll definitely see you guys next week. And we were thinking also next week we would like Alyssa and I and some other friends would get together and we would buy some of Neil's ice cream and do like trying Neil's ice cream video because that would be sort of interesting and fun.
Yeah, and also we really like ice cream. So it's an excuse for ice cream. Yay! So we will see you guys next week, and we hope that you enjoy the upcoming episode of Survivor, because whatever it brings, it's sure to be super, super interesting. Bye!
Thank you so much for watching.